Hey guys, what's going on? My name's Kyle. Welcome back to the channel. Now we are in my 2018 BMW M3, potentially for the last time. Now that pains me to even say that, but over the 2.5 years I've owned this car, I've loved every single second of it. And now, kind of out of nowhere with everything that's been going on, used car values have absolutely skyrocketed. And I didn't think anything of it. I'm like, you know what? I bought the car new. I was looking to pretty much lose money on it, not on purpose, but it just made sense. And I love this car to pieces and all that good stuff. But when I looked into the actual value of the car versus what I owe against the vehicle, it made absolutely no sense to keep it and ride out the depreciation curve rather than selling it and kind of capitalizing on, you know, the opportunity right now to sell it. Now, I know that kind of takes the car guy out of this channel and makes it completely business and financial related, and that's kind of something that I want to bring to the table here, is really imploring you guys to not only make decisions based on your car love and emotions, but also make them based on, you know, your good financial decisions. Now, I know it's never a good idea to buy a new car, but we went over that in previous videos of if you do it right and you time it right and all these different things, you can be in a pretty good scenario. And even when it comes down to modding this car, you know, majority of the modifications on this car I bought used, so I'll be able to pull those off, which we'll see today when we pretty much strip the car down. We'll do a time lapse or something so you guys can see everything that's going on with it. But between that and realizing right now that the car is really high in value, it just makes the most sense to sell it. Now, it pains me like crazy. I'm probably gonna end up daily driving my black E46 for a little bit until I can find a replacement, something I can drive through the winter. But with the winter months coming up, realistically speaking, I don't think this car is ever gonna be worth this much again. And just the simple fact that I do intend on upgrading to either something like a 991 Turbo 911 or a GT3 or something of that sort. I do want to get myself in the position to do so. And the more money I'm able to extract out of this car, the better I am in that position to maybe, you know, this coming March as a birthday, whatever you want to call it, I might end up pulling the trigger on something like that for spring. So it does pain me. The car finally looks exactly the way I always envisioned it. The good part of that is the mods don't lose any value, except, you know, whatever you cost to put them on, etc. But, you know, I did enjoy the car. I put 30,000 miles on it, literally 29,990 miles on the car right now, trying to keep it under that threshold for whoever, you know, purchases it next. It's just always a good thing from a value perspective. But I absolutely love it. 2018 M3, 30,000 miles, absolutely no issues. You know, super happy with the couple mods that I did do to it. The lowering springs definitely did affect the ride quality, and it definitely did affect the usability of the car with the front lip, but it made it just look so much better, in my opinion, that it made me love it that much more. But I'm actually curious to see when we take all the mods off how I feel about the car, because it's going to be high, because the springs are going to go back on. It's going to have 18-inch wheels, and I'm going to take all the, you know, black grills and the side markers and all that stuff off of it, and the carbon pieces. So it's going to look pretty stock. It's going to be interesting to see, and I think my emotion level towards the car will probably start dwindling a little bit. So I'll throw some, you know, little clips over that we have from videos in the past so you guys can see the progression of the car, and now it's going to go back to a stock form. But pulling in the office now, and we're just going to get started on, you know, stripping this thing back down. Alright guys, so just kind of a quick overview of all the mods we did do to the car. It's nothing outrageous, but we did get a good kind of reaction on the last video. A lot of people said don't do anything to the car, and I did take that advice. I really had nothing left to do. I considered a diffuser, but didn't go that direction. One thing that has changed since the last video was that I put the OEM springs back on the rear. Now the reason I did that is the old springs, the EMD springs, when I took it to the shop, they didn't install the spring spacer, and for some reason, they said that it would run without it, but when I hit a bump on the expressway coming from Chicago to here, it would literally just throw me up in the air. So I'm like, all right, screw that, we'll put the rear springs back on. The spring rate's the same, so it's technically okay. I don't really like how it looks with the OEM springs on the rear. It looks better, but like in the sense of like than stock, because the front is lowered. But personally, I like the way it looked before. But either way, that's how it is now. We're gonna have to put the OEM springs back on the front anyways, but that's what we did. The lowering springs were kind of, you know, great for looks, but as far as drivability wise, it does kind of kill the drivability. Now, of course, we've got the rear carbon fiber spoiler, which I absolutely love, and I'm probably gonna end up keeping this, and also the front spoiler, which is the M3 CS one. that we've talked about in previous videos, because I'm probably gonna end up buying another one of these cars. It'll probably be white or some kind of different color, and it'll probably be in a year or two, but those two parts are kind of a pain in the butt to find, and they're pretty expensive, so I don't really want to pay $2,800 for a new one, because I like that style more than all the other ones. And I might end up keeping the wheels also, just because I like silver wheels. I like how they're set up, and they have TPMS, Michelin Pilot Sport 4S's. Maybe I'll sell them, I don't know, but who knows? I'm always buying some kind of BMW, so it's cool to just have them ready to go and put on any car. Otherwise, obviously the car's tints, those are gonna stay the way that they are. And it's got the painted reflectors, which I could take off. I don't know if it's worth it, honestly. Maybe somebody on the forums would be willing to buy them. So it might be worth it, but I don't really want to cut my fingers up taking them out, so it's probably not worth it. Otherwise, you got the front grills, which are black. Those are worth a lot more than the chrome ones, so probably gonna take those off, and then probably gonna take off the guys right here, the little side fender grills, and then otherwise we've got some stuff here, but otherwise we can do the blend mounts for the radar, which is not a big deal. It's like a little Allen key, and the exhaust tips, and she's back to stock. So pretty much everything that we need to do to take it off. It seems like nothing, but I know it's gonna be a pain because I gotta swap these wheels back on, which are right up there. So these have Blizzaks on them right now, and then we're gonna have to swap on the Michelin Pilot Sport 4S tires. So in the meantime, that's gonna be the daily right there. The E46 that we showed in other videos is a 2004 E46 M3 slick top. I am looking to sell this also and just buy an X5, but in the meantime, that's what will be daily. We got a couple fall months, so we'll be just fine with that. But otherwise, yeah, so that's what we're gonna be doing. Gonna get to work on that. Gonna drop off those wheels to get dismounted from the tires, and let's make it happen. Alright you guys, so my camera actually got stolen in an Uber, which with all the extra footage of me taking the car apart, but pretty much it was just me taking the wheels off and different stuff and, you know, wrapping up everything. But I did end up obviously trading in the car and selling it, and it is right behind me right here at Elmer's BMW, of course, accompanied by some great cars. This is actually my buddy Josh's car right here, Tanzanite blue car. If you looked, when I got the wheels, I actually bought them from Josh, and I bought his blackout stuff from him as well. But the car is here, like 30,000 miles, 2018. I'm just kind of tempted to buy it back because I actually filmed the other part of this video a little bit ago when we were wrapping all this stuff up and got a little bit busy. But I do have all the mods still. I do, you know, have the lip and stuff like that. I'm gonna get that refinished and either wait for another F80 build, or, you know, we'll see what happens. But got an X5 right now, and some other M3 projects that I'll be, you know, putting on the channel soon here. Thinking either the new M3, the G80, or maybe something a little bit crazier than that, depending on how the car market is. Like I mentioned, guys, the car market is crazy, crazy, crazy high right now. Everything is just ridiculously expensive. So I'm kind of, you know, neither here nor there on it. So overall, I'm excited to be going into 2021 and seeing, you know, what kind of deals are out there and what kind of cars, you know, and how the G80 is. I'm really considering pre-ordering one in the next couple weeks or so. My ideal spec would be frozen gray, the individual color on the Kyalami orange competition seats. Frozen gray isn't available yet. That's the only reason I haven't put the order in for a build over at Elmer's BMW, but we will see what happens with that. Overall, going to be heading to Florida tomorrow, and going to be doing a lot of content out there with e-commerce guys and different car stuff and whatever. We'll see what we can do. So overall, guys, thank you so very much for watching this video. Yes, I did sell the F80, and yes, I'll probably buy another one pretty soon, but the market really needs to settle out for me to want to enter in. You know, I pretty much didn't lose any money on the car if you factor in tax write-offs and stuff like that. So for me, it was kind of a business decision, and I can't let, you know, personal, emotional stuff get in the way of it. But yeah, guys, I'll show you really quick. Here is the Winter Daily X5 M Sport with the big 20s on it. I really, really like this car. It is kind of boring, but it looks pretty good. And I wanted one for a little bit. So we'll see what happens. I'll probably sell it pretty soon and get something cooler. It's Chicago right now, so there's really no need to have an M3 or anything like that. I did the winter tire thing, and it's really not that great when the car is making like a good amount of horsepower. But overall, guys, thank you so very much for watching. I really appreciate it. Like this video if you liked it, dislike it if you did not. Subscribing would mean the absolute world to me. You can follow me on Instagram at @SULKR_media, and a new awesome app is called Clubhouse for all of insider e-com content creation marketing stuff. You can follow me there, just SULKAR. Really cool app. I really highly recommend checking it out. So with that being said, guys, thank you so very much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I will see you in the next video.